is Joy, coming to you live in Riley's mind. Make some noise! Sadness is in the house!
We've been chatting about what's next for the Inside Out franchise after that huge $1.62 billion success. We think there are some stages of Riley's life that could be really interesting to explore in Inside Out 3. Plus, the actor who plays Riley pitched some new emotions after they cut 12 in the 2024 sequel. So let's dive into everything we know about Inside Out 3 and what could be coming next. Even though Disney's 2024 D23 event didn't officially announce a sequel, the buzz about Inside Out 3 is real. Disney CEO Bob Iger recently hinted on Good Morning America that he'd love to see a third installment, though he kept details under wraps. With the massive success of the previous films, it makes sense that Disney would want to keep the franchise going. The Inside Out series has already covered some major moments in Riley's life. The original movie focused on her move from Minnesota to San Francisco, and Inside Out 2 explored her teenage years. That sequel introduced new emotions like anxiety, envy, ennui, and embarrassment, alongside the familiar crew of joy, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. At the end of Inside Out, Riley struggles with depression and tries to run away from home, but eventually finds balance between joy and sadness. In Inside Out 2, Riley deals with panic attacks, friendship issues, and the pressure of high school hockey. Given the record-breaking success of Inside Out 2, it's likely that a new sequel will dive into another significant life stage for Riley. That said, we think Riley's first romantic relationship could make for a fantastic plot in Inside Out 3. While Riley's had plenty of preteen and teenage crushes in the earlier films, it would be interesting to see her navigate the firsts of a real romantic relationship. This could be set in high school or college, depending on how far Pixar wants to jump ahead in Riley's life. In the first film, Riley's imaginary boyfriend was more of a plot device, and the sequel introduced him as Mount Crushmore, a blend of real and fictional crushes. Seeing Riley deal with the complexities of a real relationship could add depth to her character. If Riley is queer, this storyline could add an even richer layer to her first romantic experience. It would be a great way to show her evolving priorities as she moves on from focusing on friendships to exploring romantic connections. Watching Riley handle the benchmarks and emotional ups and downs of a relationship would definitely be compelling, and it would be amazing to see how she balances it with her other life experiences. Another great storyline for Inside Out 3 could be Riley's high school graduation and her preparation for college. While Inside Out 2 covers Riley starting high school, the next film could follow her through her senior year and the transition to college. Pixar has already explored college life at Monsters University, so they might want to steer clear of similar themes. High school graduation is a big deal and often comes with a lot of emotions. It's seen as a last chance to do certain things and a time for reflection. Toy Story 3 touched on the feelings of leaving for college, but since it focused more on the toys' experiences, Riley's senior year story would still offer a fresh perspective. This phase of Riley's life could be filled with memorable moments like prom, making last-minute memories, and dealing with the anxiety of what comes next. It would be a perfect opportunity to dive into her emotional journey as she wraps up one chapter and looks forward to the future. If Pixar decides to take a different route, Inside Out 3 could focus on Riley landing her first job, while other firsts like learning to drive might not stretch into a full-length film. A job could offer plenty of drama and self-discovery. Riley's love for hockey was a big part of Inside Out 2, but it's unclear if she'll continue with the sport after high school due to her anxiety issues. While a story centered solely on Riley's job might be challenging to build, it could fit well with her senior year, the summer before college, or her first year away from home. This storyline could also introduce new emotions and characters into the Inside Out universe. Plus, it would be fun to see Riley get some job advice from her parents, voiced by Kyle MacLachlan and Diane Lane. That said, a more emotional direction for Inside Out 3 could involve Riley dealing with death for the first time. While this might sound heavy, experiencing loss is a very real part of life, and Inside Out could help young viewers navigate these tough emotions. The first film tackled serious themes, showing Riley's struggle with feeling isolated and losing her sense of self. As her happiness wanes, she's weighed down by sadness. Grief, which can feel more transient compared to other emotions, could add a new layer to the story. Grief might bring a fresh perspective to Riley's emotional world. Although Riley's previous bouts with depression were tough, facing grief would be a different challenge altogether. Many kids first encounter loss through the death of a grandparent or older relative, and while Riley's extended family hasn't been a focus, losing a grandparent could drive Riley's family to return to Minnesota. This could bring up both painful and nostalgic memories, deepening the emotional exploration of the film. In terms of new emotions for Inside Out 3, Kensington Tallman, who voices Riley in Inside Out 2, has shared an exciting pitch. After portraying 13-year-old Riley facing high school challenges in the 2024 sequel, Tallman expressed her interest in exploring a new emotion if a third film is made. She mentioned that she'd love to see an emotion that embodies goofiness. Tallman believes this emotion would resonate with her personally and reflect the film's message about embracing lighthearted fun as part of growing up. Here's what she had to say. "That's a really good question. I feel goofy. I don't know if that's a real emotion, but I'd want to see a goofy emotion. Because I'm really silly, and I feel like this movie has taught me that it's okay to be silly. It's okay to be goofy and have fun. So I feel like that would be a Kensington emotion for sure. I definitely have a giant goofball island." Pixar hasn't announced Inside Out 3 yet, but that's not too surprising. Pixar's approach to sequels is a bit different from Disney's. They usually take their time before making follow-ups to their big hits. Inside Out 2 took almost a decade to come out, so if Inside Out 3 gets the green light, it might be another long wait. The announcement might take a while too. Inside Out 2 wasn't even revealed until 2022. Inside Out 2 premiered on June 14, 2024, so while it might be a bit disappointing for fans eager to return to Riley's world, it's a good thing overall. It gives Pixar the time they need to create the best films possible. With a rich, imaginative world of the mind in Inside Out, there's definitely room for more stories. Even though Inside Out 3 isn't confirmed yet, it's likely we'll see it eventually if the sequel lives up to the success of the original. Inside Out 3 could potentially see Riley navigating young adulthood by moving away from home to attend college. Unlike her previous move, which was prompted by her parents' job change, this time it would be Riley's choice. Her parents wouldn't be moving with her, adding an interesting dynamic to the story. In Inside Out 2, Riley's parents took a backseat as she focused more on her friends, so exploring this new phase where Riley is more independent could be compelling. As teenagers leave home for college, their priorities often shift, with both friends and family becoming important again. Although Riley might not openly admit she needs her parents, she'd likely find herself calling her dad or texting her mom for support. This new cross-country move could nicely mirror the original movie's theme while offering a fresh angle on Riley's journey. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. What do you think Riley's next big life moment could be in Inside Out 3? Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments.